IPL hot takes.
Our biggest hot takes on every single team. We're going to go through each and every one. It's going to be quick fire. We're going to just talk through them. Disclaimer, many of them you might not agree with.
Without further ado, let us begin. Starting off with the champions, KKR Abraz. What do you have to say for their squad?
They're experienced, right? They've got a very, very experienced team with Andre Russell, Sunil Narayan. I feel like they've just always been there, right? They've got Rahane, they've got Moeen Ali, Quinton de Kock. But my hot take for this Kolkata Knight Riders team is they are going to struggle this time. Coming in as reigning champions, they just don't have that speed that some of the other teams have. They're a bit too slow, and most of these players have retired from international cricket and are barely playing anything, and I just don't see them continuing what they did last year anymore. I mean, they've got a couple of people there, I think Rinku Singh and Ramanullah Gurbaz, of course, but you know, if you don't get if you can get them out quick, I don't see this being a KKR year, and that's the reigning champions. But my hot take is they will struggle like crazy this time.
Summary: too old to play. Okay, then moving on. Now this
you take CSK, Sam. Take CSK.
Oh man, you're putting the fire on me over here because this is gonna be a big controversial one. We know one thing, and that is Dhoni is CSK and CSK is Dhoni. But as CSK fans, I think it's time to bite the bullet. This guy is 43 years old. Hot take: he is an ideal impact sub, not a full-time player.
No, I definitely agree. I think there are some games where you can play him, but there's the games against like the pace bowlers. He's traditionally struggled against the pacers, and like teams like Mumbai Indians, you gotta keep him on the bench for the best of you. He'll be a great mentor, a great coach, but they need to be very smart about what games they play Dhoni and what games they don't. But I couldn't agree more. Dhoni, they'll have to be very careful about this one. This is the hottest one of them all, I think. This is most people will not like this one.
Yeah, but I mean, it is true. And if you want to keep your captain fit, I think this is the way to go. So moving on to Gujarat over here, Abraz, what do you have for this team, Gujarat Titans?
So Gujarat Titans, they're an exciting team. Well, one of the newest teams in this IPL. I've already made a final or two here and there. I think that overall they look great on paper with Rashid Khan, Shubman Gill, Rabada, Joss Butler, Coetzee, Glenn Phillips. But I think the inconsistencies of all these players will cost them. A lot of these players are in poor form. Rashid Khan had a really, really poor outing in the Champions Trophy, as did Joss Butler. Of course, they've got Glenn Phillips who's doing decent, and Shubman Gill has to play a big role there as well. But I think this overall poor form is really going to cost them. And I think they just also are lacking the strong leader that they had with Hardik Pandya. And they don't have that at the moment. And so I think Gujarat Titans, this is going to be one of the years where they're really going to struggle unless those players can pick it up and be consistent for all the games.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there. So Gujarat Titans, there we go. Need a leader and they need consistency. So without that, gonna be a tough one. So
let's go over to the other new team, the other relatively new team, but Lucknow Super Giants.
Yes, absolutely. Lucknow Super Giants, they were making waves for a bit over there, but right now I'm gonna say the hot take. I'm gonna say it that we know in IPL big price tags don't mean big performances, but with 27 crore on his name, Rishabh Pant will live up to it. Now, the case for this is that he has a lot to prove. He's just come back from the car crash. Some inconsistencies. We all know what happened with the BGT.
Stupid.
Well, it's like as iconic as it gets now. But he's had a great individual IPL last time around. 61 boundaries in just 13 games. So he has that firepower a lot.
Yeah, he was averaging over 40 runs and with a strike rate of over 150. And like all of that, I agree with you. Coming back like into the game again, and I think I agree with you. This is going to be one big price tag player that will actually live up to that tag. So we're excited to see what he can cook up for LSG.
Absolutely. But how about we move on to another big team? I'd say just on par with CSK with the amount of silverware that they have, and that is Mumbai Indians. Abraz, talk us through. What do you have for them?
Now, here's my hot take for them. They will start off poor, but they will make a comeback. I believe one of their biggest players, Jasprit Bumrah, is of course obviously he's out until April. And without him, that bowling attack is just goes down. And I know they've got Trent Bolton there, but he hasn't played in a while. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from him. I think he's obviously one of the greatest bowlers in the last 10, 15 years. But Bumrah is just that kind of a player that can have that much impact. So they're gonna start poorly, Mumbai Indians, but they're gonna make a comeback. And I don't know if it's gonna be enough for them to make it all the way through. But this is a big year for them, by the way, because last year they ended up bottom of the table. They struggled like crazy, Mumbai. Not the Mumbai you typically see. I think it's going to start off similar to that. I think it's going to rise up a little bit more towards the end.
Yeah, no, Mumbai Indian fans know if it's a tough start to the season, they usually go and win it. However, let's move on to a team that I think that we have a lot of faith on, and that is Sunrisers Hyderabad, 2016 champion. My hot take is that they're gonna break the record for 300 runs this IPL. And why do I say that?
They got close a couple times last year, didn't they?
Yeah.
They got really close a couple times.
They got really close, and the reason they got really close is they have one of the most exciting batting lineups in the form of Abhishek Sharma, Heinrich Klaasen, Travis Head, Nitesh Kumar Reddy. Man, I can go on and on. This is insane. But just when we thought that they have a good batting lineup, they have Pat Cummins, Mohammad Shami, Adam Zampa, and Chahar. How are we going to stop this team? So I think 300 is very much on the cards with this team. So that is my hot take. They are the cannons.
Good question. Do you think they're going to win this time? Because I certainly think they will. And I think last year they were probably, them and KKR were the two best teams, but SRH just performed so badly in that finals.
Yeah.
And I think they were like 113 all out, and that's like not what you expect from this batting lineup, right? But I think this year it's really they're gonna push it up, and for me they are champions.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think that's a very good call because this time the form is gonna be different. The players that they have now, they are all in hot form, so that's a team to look out for. Okay, so next is another team has been struggling in the bottom recently. PBSK, Abraz, what do you have for Punjab over here?
Kings 11 Punjab, or as they're now called, the Punjab Kings. My hot take for them is that I think this time they are going to bounce back, and significantly from last season. They finished 9th out of the 10 teams in the 2024 edition. But this time I see them making at least the playoffs. And the reason is because I think a lot of their players are in great form. Shreyas Iyer had a great Champions Trophy, and now he's leading this team. He was bought for quite a big amount of money as well. But on top of that, I mean, they've got the highest wicket taker in IPL history in Yuzvendra Chahal, the only player to take over 205 wickets. And I mean, he's coming towards the end of his career, and I think he's going to want a silverware here, which he never won with RCB. So, and I think another big thing with for Punjab, which is going to help them make that jump from so low to playoffs, is their all-rounders. They've got so many great all-rounders that's going to carry them. They've got Stoinis, they've got Janssen, they've got Azmatullah Omarzai, they've got the great Glenn Maxwell as well, even though he's not in that much form. They've got Joss Inglis as well, but he's not an all-rounder. But I mean, in general, I think they're really going to rely on those all-rounders, and it's really going to help them make that jump into the playoffs.
I'm looking at Marco Janssen. You know, I like young and up and coming players, so he's gonna be my all-rounder to watch in this team. But I think now we come to a big one. Raz, what do you say? What do you say we kick things off with this?
Are we talking about the team I'm representing with my t-shirt today?
Yeah,
the Royal Challengers Bengaluru.
I think many can say it's the team with the biggest fan base to never win the IPL. And we have a very interesting hot take here, is that Kohli will be enough if the other players support him like they supported Messi with Argentina. Abraz, what do you
I'm gonna make a little comment here. You know, like with this RCB team, historically they've always had these great star-studded lineups, right? And they've never won anything. And this time, if you look at that lineup, it's a very much calmer lineup. It doesn't have the firepower that it once did with Chris Gayle, AB de Villiers, Glenn Maxwell, and all those players are no longer there. But if the others can support Virat Kohli, like the youngsters and no one expected Argentina to win the World Cup, right? But those youngsters, they really helped their idol Lionel Messi go through and win that World Cup. And I know recently we saw Kohli messaging AB de Villiers saying, "Hey, don't jinx it." So I don't want to jinx it for them, but I think if they can play how they're supposed to play with Kohli being the star player and have the whole team built around him, they're going to win the trophy. And another big thing I think is that Kohli has faced a lot of criticism recently. You know, he's had he had a spell of really bad form with having to go and play the Ranji Trophy. But now he's back in hot form, and you can never count him out. He is a leader and a half, and if he can do that, then I think this is RCB's year.
Yeah, KKVK, King of Kings, Virat Kohli. I'll, so a lot riding on him for sure. So just two more teams to go, Rajasthan
Just two
and
more. We said, it's quick fire. This
it
video is
is
going quick.
it is a quick fire one. So Rajasthan and Delhi Capitals. Abraz, which one do you want to take? You'll take one, I'll take the other. What do you say?
I'll take Rajasthan
Okay.
because they have a player who I really like, a very underrated player, and a lot of people like him, and that's Sanju Samson. And my hot take for Rajasthan Royals is that Sanju Samson will win the orange cap. I think this is really going to be his year. He's 30 years old now, and he's never really got it going for the Indian national team. And he's always he's always used the IPL to show that he's really a much better player than what the selectors have always seen of him. And I think having finished third last time round in the table, Rajasthan Royals, they will really believe this time that they can go all the way. And Sanju Samson, he's going to be one of the bigger players there, and he's going to bat with all his life, and he's going to take that orange cap back home by the end of the tournament.
Yeah, they say Sanju Samson is like Schrodinger's cat. You never know which Sanju Samson you're gonna get. Hopefully this time we get the orange cap Samson.
The orange cat.
The orange cat, yes, indeed. So, okay, so the last team, Delhi Capitals.
Yeah, take it away, Sam. What do we have for DC?
My hot take is that the Indian players will do better than the internationals. Now, why do I say this? Look, we have Akshar Patel, we have KL Rahul. These players, they're in good form. We saw the Champions Trophy. They're playing well. But if you look at their international players, they have the likes of Harry Brook, Jake Fraser McGruck, and even Faf du Plessis, which I think both of us, we can admit, we didn't really know that even if he was playing. So if you look at them, Harry Brook is very much out of form. Jake hasn't been playing much. And Faf, he's a retired player, you don't really know what's going to happen with them. In the bowling department, yes, they have the likes of Mitchell Stark, but historically, he's been expensive in the IPL, minus the playoffs where he just suddenly turns up. But that is if they make it that far. So he's expensive in the IPL. I think people like Mohit Sharma, people like Kuldeep Yadav, they're really going to shine more. So it's going to be more of a local team with Delhi Capitals, locals beating the internationals. That's what I have for Delhi. And I guess that rounds it up, all 10 teams.
All perfectly done, all square, 10 teams going head to head. Obviously, like we said, there's a lot of these takes that you will not like. A lot of these takes you might like. Do let us know which ones you agree with and which ones you don't. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and head over to our Instagram because we have a lot of our posts coming out there. And we'll be having a lot of coverage this IPL. So stay tuned, but until next time, it's good morning, good evening, and good night.
Wherever in the world that you are.